Central to being an effective development economist is to be an economist first. That's our comparative advantage. Lean into the ability to think both intuitively and structurally like an economist. And therefore, doesn't matter which setting you're in, you'll be able to see the economics underneath the challenging measurement, the varied setting, and start to think about what models that economics has created apply to that setting. Then bridging to the development bit is absolutely key, but it's the comparative advantage on which we base our value. As a development economist who now has seen lots of people working across the sector, I find that those who really took depth rather than too much breadth allowed themselves to come to the table and say something that someone else didn't, because we all learn the broad principles of economics, but then we specialize into certain pockets. And so what you really want is someone to complement your pocket, your depth of knowledge in a particular area with depth of knowledge in theirs, with that basic framework being a kind of bridging architecture. Now, this is also true for specializations outside of economics. And so I've started to work a lot, say, with computer scientists. Here's an example. I'm interested in government and how government functions. Well, government has a lot of data in its documents, but they're all in text form. And so working with computer scientists who are specialists in extracting data, measurement and variables from government documents, I can bring the economics and the models of economics about how the personal economics of the state works to the measurement that is being supported and facilitated by a computer scientist. So our depth combines to be something bigger than its parts. Really, in the end, I'm not asking for someone who understands how to implement every single element of the economics profession. You may be someone who's very good at measurement with inside public service, public administration. That's something that I've focused on. You might be someone who's very good at structural modeling, so coming up with a theoretical model that can be applied to the data that we collect. You might be someone who's very experienced in running randomized controlled trials in, say, labor markets. Whatever it is that your specialization is, I think what I've just said has three key themes. One is, take depth over breadth, so long as you're able to link to other people's professional depth. And that means some basic understanding of all elements of economics. Drive that depth to make sure you have comparative value. Secondly is, you're having to learn economics that ties back to the professional norms and standards so that you do have that bridge. But it doesn't mean that you have to be able to implement everything in your specialization. Be someone who's aware of the techniques at the frontier, the research findings and so forth, and be able to source them when you need them, or source the right resources. Could be people who can help you do those things. And so really, when I say specialization, I'm talking about expertise that you can draw in the right resources, the right people to get us to the frontier. In the end, when you're working with others, if you don't have trust that they can do those two things, take you to the approximate frontier of their specialization, or ensure that they've given you the right advice, you're always wondering if someone else with a similar specialization might be able to help you better. So really think through, am I bringing to the table some degree of depth that I can map back to economics writ large? Am I able to complete the cycle, a business solution? That could be in a research setting. It could be, I will go and do the field work for this survey and get measurement that approximates the best measurement there is. Or am I going to be saying, well, actually, I'm able to take that data and put it into a structural model that other people wouldn't. So think about what your comparative advantage is, what you're bringing to the table, and signal that when you're working or looking for employment.